see from that screen, my name is Fenwick Mutunga Mudankia. I'm a clinical officer anesthetist. I'm the former or immediate former chairman, emeritus chairman of the National Association of Clinical Officer Anesthetists of Kenya, and I'm currently the president of the Society of Non-Physician Anesthetists of Africa. I think this is the second time for me to attend your conference. First was at Mwanza during your very initial scientific conference, and I think I had an opportunity to talk about the role of civil anesthesia and surgery in achievement of universal healthcare. My topic today is about wellness. We will diverge a bit from the usual spinals, generals. We look at well-being or wellness of us as anesthesia providers. Sijui wellness kwa Kiswahili ni ustawi ama ni afya bora ama what is wellness in Kiswahili? Unajua sisi ni wageni, hii lugha hatuielewi sana. Wellness or well-being. The state of being happy, being prosperous, being satisfied with whatever we are doing in life. Remember, it was the founding father of America, the third president of the USA, Mr. Thomas Jefferson, who said that all human beings are born equal and they have their inherent or inalienable rights. And among these rights are right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I think we as anesthetists, we hardly enjoy those rights. Tonight, one is on day, no leave, no time for your social life, all right? Because as we delve deeper into our presentation, you realize that in matters well-being, we are talking of your emotional well-being, your social well-being, your spiritual well-being, your workplace well-being, and even the societal and the family well-being. I think I have no conflict of interest. This is the map of Kenya. I wanted to show you where I come from. That county, Kitui County. This is my county, and I work in this place up in Nairobi, in one of, actually in our largest national referral hospital called Kenyatta National Hospital. Here is where we train all the anesthetists at diploma level. During my time, we had only one training institution. That was the Nairobi, Kenya Medical Training College. And we used to produce an average of 10 to 15 clinical anesthetists. We have since improved. Now we have 8 training centers or campus producing an average of 130 clinical anesthetists. Then if we do a small comparison with what WFSA expects of each country, is that we expect that at least we do have 5 anesthesia providers per 100,000 population. Currently, when we looked at the data of Kenya, we found that we are actually almost at 5% now. 5 into 100,000 for a population of 55. And this is because apart from the clinical anesthetists, we also have nurse anesthetists. I think we have about 4 campuses training nurse anesthetists, and we have the anesthesiologists, the consultants, and we have about 4 centers training the physician anesthetists. So in our countries, like we produce roughly 200 anesthesia providers annually. When we compare with the data from Tanzania, I think I was given a data by your president, Madam Julia, and comparatively, we see that Tanzania, we are still a little bit low. We are about 3 per 100,000 population, and your population is big. I think you are about 67 million. Then you look at our brothers across the home of Dr. Bukwirwa, they have about 2 anesthesia providers per 100,000 population. And their population is currently about 47. So we have not really achieved the bare minimum as per the requirements of WFSA. Toxic working environment. So these are some of the quotations. Acknowledge that burnout comes in many frames. It is in many forms. It is necessary that each medical discipline encounters it with differing frequencies and unique ways of solving it. Burnout can affect all of us as anesthesia providers. Say about it. Okay, it's just pathophysiology continued. So how does burnout present? Much as we say difficulty with the memory occurs with age, studies have shown that people who have burnout in the areas of work, they have difficulties with memory. It's when most of the medical errors occur. I think it was Dr. Deborah who was talking of some people giving tranexamic acid instead of bupivacaine, and that the results are disastrous. I would say that in our country, we are not an exception. It has happened. We have had mortalities, but there is one case whereby due to teamwork and a quick action, we managed to save a patient who was given tranexamic acid inadvertently as bupivacaine. They did CSF lavage severally, and the patient was admitted in the intensive care unit. Unfortunately, she recovered. I think the doctors who were involved, they did a presentation during one of our conferences in Mombasa, and this year we want to invite the same doctor to come to the conference of clinical anesthetists, which is scheduled for September of this year. If you have time. So others, we will present with the lack of concentration, lack of sleep. Others are very irritable. I don't know whether you have met these very irritable anesthetists. You are trying to call for help. Shoka, help me, nisaidie kidogo pia. Wewe nimechoka bwana. Sijui kama huko kwetu iko namna hiyo ama nyinyi mko taratibu. You don't face these irritable colleagues, and you have not even interacted with him or her. Okay? Then you have emotional exhaustion. Then we have this Maslach burnout inventory, which is used to diagnose burnout, and it assesses 3 components: emotional exhaustion, lack of feelings of personal accomplishment, and depersonalization. And a study which was done in Serbia in 2015 validated the use of FBI, especially for anesthesia providers. So risk factors. What are some of the risk factors? When we compare males and females, we find that females have a higher risk of getting burnout. I remember during our training, we never had these modern anesthetic machines. Use the bag, the monitoring was manual. You had to be literally chained to your patient. you had a pre-cord your stethoscope, you had your pulse, your finger on the pulse, and you had your manual BP. So you can imagine you are there now doing a patient with peritonitis or a patient with septic abortion, and the way they have a lot of pus in the abdomen. About 6 sections squeezing the bag, and she said this is not the kind of life I wanted, so she opted out. But me, I'm a living testimony. There's a night I did 11 cesarean sections squeezing the bag. By the time I left the theater, on entering one of our matatus, my fingers were automatically also squeezing the bag. In the matatu, people see you are squeezing something. Okay? It had become, I think, automated in my brain that squeeze the bag. Somebody who is exhausted squeezing the bag in the bus, then you find your young beautiful wife there, you have nothing to say. So, then the young anesthetist, and because of this idea of, I don't know whether here in Tanzania there's a lot of private practice. Like in our country, we realize that I'm at my national referral hospital, then Dr. B is calling me for a case in another place. I'm trying to squeeze myself. I'm running in between hospitals, moonlighting. It's stressful. When children are there crying, then you are supposed to come back to work tomorrow. Very, very stressful. Okay? And also those who are undergoing training. I have seen that we have interns here. I think we also have other students. You know how stressful it is. You do the preoperative review. You have to talk to your senior about the preoperative review. You arrive early in the morning. You make all the orders and everything else. And you are the one to chat. So it's very, very stressful. Of burnout, suicide. In my country, I've experienced this once when I was young, working in one of the provincial hospitals then. I found the colleagues who were there were 2, then I was the 3rd one. The moment they arrived, one of them went on leave, then we were left 2 of us. One gentleman was so much overworked that he decided now enough is enough, and he injected himself with a pangolinium. And the man died over the weekend. Nobody to cover the duty because he was one working over the weekend. The one who was given leave had to be recalled to come and cover the duty. And then instead of the medical superintendent finding out why the gentleman never reported for work, he gave him an interdiction letter, not knowing that you're interdicting somebody who's already dead. So after about 3 days is when people realized a foul smell emanating from his house inside. And on postmortem, of course, it was something that he committed suicide using pangolinium because of burnout and the stress. I've seen other people resign because of this burnout. Others have changed anesthesia practice completely because of the burnout. But now currently, I would say that to use those sophisticated machines, I think even here you have the trackers and all the other highly sophisticated anesthetic machines. So no more squeezing of us. And that's where you can see there are so many ladies enjoying this profession. Okay? Some reports have also indicated that burnout can lead to neoplastic diseases. You get depressed, substance abuse, watu wanakunywa kanywaji excess, wengine wanakuwa addicted to the drugs which we use, in theater especially the opioids. Then there's also avoidance behavior. So what are some of the remedies which we can suggest for managing burnout in our institutions? The remedies can be classified into 2. There's the individual intervention and the system-based intervention. Some of the individual interventions would be things like as much as you can to stop moonlighting. Then system-based interventions Okay? Having more anesthesia providers in your department with flexible working schedules. During our time, we had very long working schedules. We could do night duties from Monday to Monday, and we are covered from 5 p.m. to 8 a.m. But nowadays, at least where I work, there's a bit of flexibility. Colleagues do nights from Monday to Friday. They take some good leave. Then the others will cover the weekend and they are well compensated. Then we also need to emphasize on the need of work-life balance. Okay? We said it's not about work. We also need to have the other part of life. Okay? Because they say, oh, work and no play. Men jack what? Okay? Then compensation for long working hours, overtime. In case you stay in the hospital, are you compensated? Mnalipanga pesa loka mama overtime? Ama wanasema tu Mungu akubariki na zidi kufanya wema. At times it's good to also compensate people for their own working hours. So, quality of life improvement approach, we have about 3 phases. As you can see, phase 1, you look at the problem. Phase 2, what you are going to do about it. Phase 3, how to keep improving on it. So, as I said, all work and no play. So at times you need to rewind, unwind, have fun. Last night I had an opportunity to walk around with some of your colleagues. They took me to nice joints. We had nice moments. We enjoyed ourselves. But yes, but you don't overdo. Because if you overdo, then you are coming to work, you will be also a problem to your colleagues. Okay? So what else? You also get time to relax as an anesthesia provider. You can see this gentleman here enjoying his life. Okay? It's not about just running between theaters. Have time to go picnic, go to mountaineering and such like. Then remember, at the end of the day, your spouse is your biggest support base. If you don't have peace at home, even at work, itakuwa shida. Kwa hivyo hao warembo hao wetu hawa, mwatunze vizuri hawa. Watoto pia watafurahi, utakuwa na afya njema, you'll be happy, na ukiendelea watakupewa wajukuu, utafurahia kutembea na wajukuu, ukienda nyumbani unapumzika vizuri na unasema Mungu ni mwema. Asanteni sana, mbarikiwe.
Wow. Ongeza makofi mengi.